didn't have this rule, but for some reason, it's the case. Though recent updates have seen a lot of steps taken to have rips faster, it doesn't make much sense for doing that time or source their ability. Back over the hole, then at that point, all the zombie piglins are just going to run into that confined space. Once we get them crammed in there like sardines, all we have to do is drop 2 pieces of gravel on top of them, and they'll all suffocate down there in the pit, making this the simplest way to get off their bad side. Now keep in mind that if you do this, you might run the risk of them spawning zombies as reinforcements, but as long as you're stayed up on their tower, you'll be able to easily dispatch them too. Remember that this mistake was as easy to solve as it was to make. You remember the Minecraft update where Mojang deleted Minecraft? Yeah, it sounds silly, but back in the beta version for 1.1, if you launched Minecraft, everything would seem to be normal, except for when the game actually launched and you'd see that there was no text anywhere. Yep, all of the Minecraft font completely gone. Even in game, all of the item names have completely disappeared, and you also couldn't see the item quantity, which made particularly bad by the fact that the early textures were pretty tough to make out. So if you didn't have text to guide your hand, who's to say what any of these actually were? Actually, there is fire here, but with a debug stick, we can change the way that it's facing until it's no longer rendered like normal. And in fact, we can only see the flames with dashed out over here, which completely invisible in your eyes. As wide as this L-shaped looks, it's possible to have pistol, and is going down to show you if we're all the same entity. And by changing this NBT tag, we can make it look like any blocks placed outside the grid. And by using invisible shoulder entities, we can give these new illegal blocks their own hitboxes. So they'd even behave the same way, giving us first sights like this. Or even letting us place blocks underneath the floor. And that beyond Mysticat built this entire house underneath the bedrock floor. In science, professional motion machines are just a hypothesis. But in Minecraft, it's as simple as 8 rails placed together like so. Since the building a square of regular rails like this, you place a minecart on top of the slope, and it can take you to go around and around the loop, never slowing down. And to make things funnier, you put an entity inside, and that just makes the whole thing speed up. This will make your spyglass even better. See, the way the spyglass works, it actually modifies your existing FOV. So if you use a regular FOV that zooms this much, you know that FOV to the bottom of 30, and you notice when you use the spyglass, it zooms in even closer. And if you have an additional zoom out on top of that, you can really use this trick to get up close and personal. And then immediately switch out the lower FOV, because playing the rest of the game this way is miserable. Ever since Minecraft's Wild update, this popular feature no longer exists. Not before 1.19, it was possible to upgrade your brightness from bright to super bright, considering that you can go into the game's files and just manually change the camera settings. I guess it does make sense that the same update that they added in the DVR, they would also made this insane brightness option.
Oh, wait, the ball's still up.
Nowadays, the only way they're going to pull this off is by using one of the many mods out there that exist for it.
Careful, my
One of the best parts of the Caves and Cliffs update's first half is the addition of axolotls. I mean, they're certainly the cutest feature, that's no contest. But with these water wolves having the ocean, they don't exactly match on land. And you'll see as much as the beach one. They move pretty slow. That is, until you tie one to a leaf, and then it'll move surprisingly fast speeds. Why this happens, I've got no clue. It's pretty hilarious, so I'm fine with it not making sense. How you can explore ancient cities without having to worry about, who? Well, Omega's got you covered. Since with this machine, you can shoot 6 arrows into the wood block at the bottom of the arrow chamber, and when you close it back down, you put this on and off switch on the auto clock, which all comes together to mean that we're completely disabling the warden spawning. So even though you might hear warden sounds coming from this machine, the actual truth is those are the sounds of failed warden spawn attacks. Since when you look around, you're not going to see any. And not only will this work in the ancient city that we built it within, but because of the built-in chunk loading, we guarantee that this works in any ancient city that we step into in the world. Just as long as you're the player that shot the arrows into the machine. And at that point, we can use our code to get rid of all the scope shriekers, so that even when this machine isn't working, we're still not going to have to worry about the warden. I think that's how it always looked this way. I'm not talking about new textures, but rather removing some textures. Since strangely enough, in Snapshot 20W45A, the cats that you'd see walking around appear to have lost their legs. Which, hey, that's some great representation of three-legged cats. But it was also most certainly a bug. And that's why this got fixed when it reached the bug trapper. Because the only tripod we have left is the one in the education edition. There's a lot of debates over why the bugs sound so ugly, and I don't want to whine on those. I'm going to say that Snapshot 20W28A didn't do yet for the other. So then, if you notice that one of the blocks drops down into a ravine or lava, you'll still be standing on the other block. And at that point, if you don't correct your mistake, you deserve to fall. Logs the smooth stone block. I think it'd be great to see something like the 6-sided piston return as an official capacity. Maybe it's a crate block. Or if you want to add in extra redstone functionality, you could use this as a way to piston's arm. And the reason for that is because the piston doesn't actually think it's supposed to work. Since the obsidian's keeping the slime blocks from being watchdog to terminate the server. And as long as you freeze time in smaller increments, they'll they'll be none the wiser. For a brief time in Minecraft, the deadliest mob in the game happened to be a falling. The only ones who were safe were shulkers. Maybe that means their shells are better for armor than we thought. You've heard the saying when pigs fly, but how about striders? And sure enough, back in Snapshot 20W14A, if you used a fishing rod to pull up a strider into the air and then jump off, scroll through them, the strider glitches out and it slowly descends down the fall. Every now and then, Mojangers have a bit more going for them, or they're just gonna stay at the bottom of the eating bowl. About how lame the cold one is. And ones that were shown off in the combat test snapshot, I think the best we're gonna see for a while. Mechanic is a solid piece of game design. It does have a few odd quirks as well, such as how all of these blocks can't simply punch an enemy while you're sprinting, and they continue to sprint afterwards. That'll negate all of the sprint's hunger drain. And as user Elliot X shows off, this could be a game changer for speedrunning, especially because it's allowed in runs. But keep in mind that you will still lose hunger when you're jumping during this. And the way it all works is that the game thinks that when you punch, that you would stop sprinting. So in that case, the service sees you as walking, but the client still believes that it's sprinting. And then that desyncs enough for us to manipulate and get all of this extra speed without ever having to do it on an empty stomach. In Bedrock Edition, it is that if you stood at the edge of the corner in Bedrock Edition and flipped the door back and forth, you'd notice that the bubbles would start to appear over your hunger bar, which sure enough meant that we were able to drown ourselves inside of a door with no water in sight. Which makes it even more ironic that on Java Edition, we're able to use the doors to stop ourselves from drowning, which honestly, I prefer over the alternative. With the 1.16 update, Minecraft of course added in two new log equivalents, the Crimson and Warped Stem blocks. And sure, it makes sense that these wouldn't burn to a flint and steel or a furnace. But why can they be used as fuel in a campfire? As you can see, when crafting this item, it's possible to use the nether stems to kindling, just like the regular logs, even though they don't burn in the regular gameplay. But if you're period between Minecraft 1.9 to 1.10, there existed a bug called piston translocation, which is that if a piston rod extended into you and then retracted, it could pull you up through the piston. Which when that existed allowed for some incredibly fast and impressive elevators. I mean, really, the way this let you manipulate entities was pretty impressive, but now it just doesn't work the same. Not only was the bug patched out, but now if you have a piston push you down, it pushes you into crawling. I mean, I think having some way for this feature to return would be really cool. Maybe even taking after this Reddit post and saying that it should be a translocator block. I don't know, I think it'd be neat. If you play Minecraft on PC, you're probably not familiar with this, but for those of you who played Minecraft on console, this is instantly recognizable as the Minecraft tutorial world. And it's probably a bit nostalgic because this hasn't been in the game since. But this iconic Moon Dragon wasn't supposed to be the only dragon in Minecraft. And in fact, there used to be an idea for an overworld instead. And hey, even Dragon Diddy eventually wanted to add a mod of some suit, if at all. In the final shot of the Minecraft 1.20 trailer, when Steve's running into the game,
I don't see why
he's unfortunately, without the use of mods, Spider's gonna have that's not the only issue in the shot, since there's also something weird going on with our skeletons. Which is that if we zoom in and look closely, sure enough, none of the skeletons walking towards Steve actually have any bows and arrows or any weapons. They're really more walking like zombies, which is maybe even weird.
We got up pretty dang early this morning, really close. Holy foggy flashback footage, guys. It's freaking 5:45 in the morning. What am I doing? This is what I do to catch night fish.
Look at this lake. It's so weird. Usually we take the boat on like saltwater runs and now like oceans and stuff. No, we are on a lake, fresh water. This is good for the motor. Great for the motor. Running into fresh water. It started. That's a good sign. And we got our rods. We're all rigged up. This guy is our captain.
He will keep us safe. At least he's captain to do so. But sometimes when we get stuck in the middle of the ocean, on the way to the Bahamas. Yeah, he almost still got. He's a little.
Thanks, Bella, you stupid fuck.
He's actually highly destructive.
I can do.
You ready to go? Good girl. All right.
I'm gonna go park the truck and then we're gonna hit the water and show you the rig.
Where are
Bella.
my shoes?
Come here, Bella.
Those skeletons coming out of the sand dunes, and those skeletons have their bows.
I
and
just-
arrows. They still got the spider
I
climbing
just
rocks.
realized I
So
haven't
things never
talked
change.
for a minute.
That Minecraft
What?
used to feel quite a bit scarier, but that's not just your
Why you
imagination.
gotta
and
make
stuff
everything
like
worse?
this.
I haven't talked for a minute.
In their making recent updates.
I haven't
Below
spoke
we
for
got
a
down
minute.
to the road, we eventually reached the bedrock floor, and we have this huge dark fog clogging up the vision.
freezing. See how I move? Wait. I want to go see if the kitty's out. I want to go see if the kitty's out. Ew, mosquitoes. Tookie's a moth. I ain't gonna hurt you. Come here. It's Tookie. I'm all dirty.
Why are you big? Now you're gonna have to go in and wash your hands. You can't go in and grab fucking phone and do this. Why do you do that?
Like and subscribe for videos and content.